Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om. Binu Satsanga Vivekana Hoy. Without the company of those who are noble, without the company of those who are trying to be better, then understanding what's important, prioritization, will not be possible. All of us live busy lives. Though we're all connected technologically, still we feel isolated. The vision of Vichara Gurukula is to bring people together using technology to connect people so that that feeling of isolation is not there, but together we focus on what's important. We keep inspiring each other. Human to Hanuman. There's an old Chinese proverb. Many of you may have heard this. It relates to happiness. What is the best way to be happy for an hour? The best way to be happy for an hour is to take a nap. What is the best way to be happy for a day? Sport. Go for a hike. Engage in dancing. What is the best way to be happy for a month? Old Chinese proverb. I'm only narrating what an old Chinese proverb shares. Get married. I think this is the logic behind a honeymoon. A traditional honeymoon is 28 days. It is through the waxing and waning period of the moon. What is the best way to be happy for a year? Inherit. Inherit a fortune. Win the lottery. And every day will be new for 365 days. But then in the new year, the days will become the same again. What is the best way to be happy for a lifetime? Help. Help others. When we're helping others, there's a different depth of joy. Nap, sport, marry, inherit, and help. And this is where the proverb ends. Pujya Swami Tejumayananda added another element to this proverb. What is the best and actually only way to be happy forever? Because in Sanatana Dharma, like other religions, we believe in reincarnation. So being happy for a lifetime is not the same as being happy forever. What is the best way to be happy forever? Know thyself. When you know that you are more than flesh and bones, a form and a name, you come to know that you are not human, that you are Hanuman. You are divine. And this is a workshop for us to go deeper into us, deeper into life. A saint, a santa, their hridaya or heart is known to be softer than butter. Why? Because butter needs to be heated up to be melted. But a saint's heart melts with any trace of sorrow, any trace of joy, and not their own, when they're interacting, when they're observing others. When Hanumanji sees Mother Sita, and she's looking at her feet, and she's visualizing Bhagavan Rama's feet, she's so miserable, and Hanumanji feels more miserable. He is lit up because of this sorrow, and he lights up all of Lanka. When Goswamiji decides to write Ramayana in a language of the people, for the people, someone had asked him, "Why are you rewriting Ramayana?" And he narrated, "One without a purpose is like a dry leaf that's tossed around by the wind. And me writing Ramayana gives people purpose, so they're not tossed around." He himself was like that leaf. He changed, and he wanted to share the same gift with others. So he rewrote the Ramayana. Each evening, I'm introducing Vichara Gurukula more, Human to Hanuman more, Hanumanji more, Goswamiji more, hoping that we are being introduced to ourselves more. Yesterday, we studied Chaupai 25. In Chaupai 25, we focused on the original disease. The original disease is ignorance, or being forgetful. When we don't know who we are, many other diseases come with that, like jealousy, like insecurity. The original disease, and the only way to end this original disease is with knowledge. The opposite of ignorance is knowledge. The opposite of forgetting is remembering. Our sadhana, our summary word is dedicate. When we're dedicated to being deeper, then we get to that original disease, we find the original medicine, and we become independently joyous, being instead of becoming. In 26, we had studied how when one aligns their mind and their words and their body together, then anything that they're stuck in, they become free. It is the breaking up of the mind and the words and body, the hypocrisy that comes with saying something and doing something else, that makes us sangata, stuck. In this verse, we are exposed to the benefit of unitasking. In multitasking, we're pretending to do a lot, but our thought is here, our mouth is here, our body is here. And Goswamiji is saying, unitask. And unitask towards others who unitask, and we will see the benefit. The sadhana is remember. By remembering the wise and how they lived, that soon becomes our history, our biography. In Chaupai 27, we focused on how Bhagavan Rama is the king of Ayodhya, the king of Aranya, and his main support was Hanumanji. Bhagavan Rama didn't even need to say it. Maybe he didn't need to think it, and Hanumanji already accomplished that. that work. A tapasvi is one who thinks in a high way. They are high thinkers. And I'm using the word think because thinking is subjective. One person's trash is another person's treasure. That is thinking based. That is subjective. When we think of being a tapasvi, this is in one's vision. It can or cannot be in one's lifestyle. Vision relates to that which is subjective. Lifestyle relates to that which is objective. This verse is teaching us about vision. And when you're thinking in a high manner, it doesn't matter about your lifestyle. It can be high, it can be low, it can be medium. Our sadhana for 27 is simplify. And we think that means simplify our lifestyle. Actually, it means simplify our vision. Have the single purpose to be independently joyous. In Chopai 28, we explored how God, scriptures, guide are all mirrors. Whatever we offer to this mirror, the mirror will reflect back. And we focused on the need to pray. Prayer is when we speak to God. Prayer is when we speak to God. And I had read, after we initiate this dialogue, in contemplation, God speaks to us. So in one you speak, in another, God speaks to you. Speaking to God, there is an element of making oneself vulnerable. Whenever we speak to others, we tend to arm ourselves. We tend to be conceited. But with God, we have to disarm. We have to become humble. Speaking to God, there's a funny joke where a priest is given a small home in heaven and a bus driver is given a huge home in heaven. And when this priest and bus driver, this is a long joke, I'm condensing here. When they have this dialogue about how come I'm a priest and I have this small home and the bus driver has a big home, and the person who facilitates heaven says, when the priest was preaching, was speaking, everyone was sleeping. When the bus driver was driving, everyone was praying for their life. So who really brought people closer to God was the bus driver. And this is a joke, but not a joke also. I recently traveled to northern India, to Bharat, with a group of North Americans. And we had these two large buses that we were traveling through the mountains with. And this one bus, which was driving on the mountain, it was near falling. And I'm trying to say this in such a way that you're not scared of coming on future yatras. But one of the Devis that was on the bus, I was on the other bus. One of the Devis, she had prepared a text message to her family and friends saying that the bus is falling off of this hill right now. I'm going to die and I love you, love you all. And if it actually happened, she was about to press send. And see how this is not a joke anymore. See how bus drivers really bring God into our radar. The sadhana for 28 is inquire. When you're speaking to God, yes, you can speak to God in front of you, but you should be feeling that within. In Chopai 29, we saw how Hanumanji's existence is awareness. He is inclusive of all space, time, matter. Many cultures have an appreciation for Hanumanji. If you go to Bali, they have Hanuman mandirs there, correct? I had read that in President Obama's campaigns that he used to keep, he called it a monkey in his pocket, but he knew it was Hanumanji. Who randomly keeps an animal in their pocket? He knew that this was Hanumanji, and that's why he won for 2 terms, no? It wasn't because of the American voters. It was because of Hanumanji. So Hanumanji really is living forever. He's Chiranjeevi, has existence awareness. And our sadhana was utilize. Utilize the presence of Hanumanji, utilize your potential. Then one shines in the whole multiverse. And finally, we studied verse 30, which talks about avatara, the purpose of why God manifests, to bring balance, protecting the noble, correcting the ignoble. The word sadhu is used here, and there's a great definition for sadhu. I'll read this slowly. Parakaryam sadnoti iti sadhuhu. Parakarya means others' work. Sadnoti, achieving, iti sadhuhu. A noble person is one who helps others accomplish their work. So a sadhu's only work is to help others accomplish their work. Isn't that what Hanumanji is doing, even through our workshop? If it weren't for Hanumanji, how would we be able to interact with each other? And we should be the same way. That we should work for others rather than working for ourselves. The sadhana for 30 is include. Include others in your heart. Include animals and plants in whom you work for. Be more and more inclusive. And if you're completely inclusive, you've understood and are living as the infinite. And this takes us to 3/4 of Hanuman Chalisa has now been studied. Not just chanted, but studied. It is through pata. By studying, we prevent pata. It is falling. Through studying, we prevent falling. Through studying, we encourage evolution. Let us chant our dohas, or our opening prayers together. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nija Mana Mukuru Sudhari Baranau Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalachari Buddhihina Tanujanike Sumira Upavana Kumara Balabuddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesa Vikara. We're on Chopai 31. This is a famous Chopai. It's a great reference point to know we're on the last quarter of Hanuman Chalisa. A lot of communities, they chant Hanuman Chalisa 108 times consecutively, and when they reach that 31, they know they're in the last 100 meters of this race. Ashta Siddhi Nidhi Ke Data Asabaradina Janaki Mata. Hanumanji was gifted. Maybe he was born with this gift. Maybe his father and his father's friends gave him this gift that is the phenomenal powers. He can move his body in ways that you and I cannot. He can make himself as small as a anu, as an atom. He can make himself as heavy as platinum, and on and on and on. So he can do all of this, and there's a lot of description of this. When he's in Lanka, he becomes as small as a mosquito, as big as a mountain. He becomes so heavy where Bhima can't move his tail. He becomes so light that he can jump on buildings without crushing them. So all of this is shared. And in addition to that, Navanidhi, he also has the 9 precious stones, like pearls and rubies. And I'll end there because I don't want to pretend like I know anything about precious stones. But But Hanumanji has these phenomenal powers. He also has these precious stones. And some say this was gifted to him. Some say he was born with this. That's not important. The important part is, in this verse, what is shared, he can give these. Mother Sita has blessed him to be able to share the same phenomenal powers, the same precious gems. That's some of the Puranic meaning, and I didn't go into too much detail because the Adhyatmic meaning is incredible. This is one of my favorite chopais because there's too much content. So I'm going to go through each of these 8 phenomenal powers, but I'm going to describe them in how we can deepen these to mental powers. So essentially from phenomenal physical powers to phenomenal mental powers. Starting with Anima is the physical power to become imperceptible. Imperceptible. The mental power, how does one become imperceptible? By being humble. By being humble, one has Anima. Then, Mahima, the opposite, physically, this is to become immense as a mountain. The mental power, to deepen this, that is to be courageous. One has to be humble and courageous. Like when people see Mount Everest, they're inspired to be strong. They try to train to climb Mount Everest. And what they actually do is then hire a helicopter to fly them around. And they tell people otherwise. Laghima is a physical power of being weightless. Laghima. And the mental power is to be simple. Simple. What Laghima looks like in practice is to leave the smallest carbon footprint. When traveling, to only have carry-ons. That's what Laghima is. The opposite is Ganima. Physically, that is to be weighty. When Hanumanji puts his foot down, nobody can move his foot. At a mental level, that is to be balanced. Balanced. When a tree is very firmly rooted, is weighty, then wind can't push that over. But if a tree's roots are flimsy, that can easily be toppled. To be balanced. Next is Prapti. Prapti is to gain whatever one wants to gain. This is a physical power. Hanumanji could gain insight, he could gain understanding people's minds, he could gain articles. He was able to manifest all of this. At a subjective level, what Prapti is to be tireless. If you want to gain whatever in life, the deeper that gain, the more tireless one has to be. If the gain is shallow, then you don't need to work hard for that. Swami Tejamanand has always shared, there is no substitute for hard work. To be tireless. And I'm going to open this up some more. On Sundays, I teach Vedanta and Ramayana, where we take the katha, the Vedanta part, what is the inner meaning of that katha, of that narration? This is almost like Vedanta in Hanuman Chalisa. And when Hanumanji is going to Lanka, the first challenge he faces is Mainaka. Mainaka is a mountain, a very comfortable hillock. Hillock is a very Indian word, isn't it? Have you ever heard anyone say the word hillock in America or in Canada? And this hillock is saying, come and rest. This is a long journey. What's the rush? And Hanumanji essentially has this dialogue with Mainaka that says, rest is only for those who are tired. isn't it? Rest is only for those who are tired. Shared differently, you only need a vacation if you don't like your work, no? You only press pause on the movie if hunger and thirst and sleep is more interesting than that movie. When people say, I want to take a break from this relationship, why? It's because that relationship is too intense. Rest is only for those who are tired. Be tireless. Next is prakamya. Prakamya at a physical level is to have access. Have access. Though Lanka was a fortress, Hanumanji was able to access different parts of Lanka. At a subjective level, this is to be responsible. When one is responsible, they gain access to people's belief, their faith, their trust by being responsible. When someone is irresponsible, you don't give them anything important to do, right? A great sign of how much someone trusts you is if they will leave their infant, their kids with you, correct? And if they won't, it's because they don't trust you. You're irresponsible. To be responsible. Next is ishitvam. Ishitvam physically is to rule. To rule over others is ishitvam. At a subjective level, this is to be disciplined. If I were to tell you to go to sleep earlier 30 minutes and to wake up earlier 30 minutes, but I do the opposite, I sleep later 30 minutes and wake up later 30 minutes, then there's no way that you're going to treat or take what I'm saying seriously. But if I follow the same disciplines, then you will too. At least in my mind. I like to believe that. To be able to rule over others, one has to be ruling over themselves first. To be disciplined. And finally, vashitvam. Vashitvam is to control. At a physical level, to control. At a subjective level, at a mental level, what is the only power that can help us to control others? Psychotherapy. No. Love. Love is the only power that can help us to control others. When someone shares unconditional love towards you, you give your life to them. I've experienced this intimately. This last of the Ashtasiddhi, Vashitvam, is most accurate. Awesome, no? We just keep thinking about his body being big and small. What does that have to do with you? These 8 mental powers. And now opening up these 9 precious gems. A gem is that which brings value to you. And these 9 precious gems is actually the Navada Bhakti. These are the 9 forms of devotion, the 9 practices of devotion that takes a bhakta, that is someone like you and I, a seeker, to Bhagwan, to what we are seeking. What is most valuable to us? Whatever is going to bring us to God, to ourselves. Hanumanji has that, and Hanumanji can share this. A lot of depth. We can speak half an hour more just on these 9 forms of devotion. The summary, the sadhana for Chaupai 31 is change. Change. What is described as Hanumanji's physically changing body, we have to go to a change at the mind level. Change. 32. राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास सदा रहो रघुपति के दास. Rama Rasayana. Rasayana means medicine, elixir. to Rama, that is to Bhagwan, to joy, tumare pasa. You have this elixir, Hanumanji. Sadaraho. It's almost like benediction or glory to you. May you always be a servant. May you always be surrendered to Raghupati. That's another name for Bhagavan Rama. This is the literal meaning. We'll open up the Pauranic meaning. How did this verse come to be? Even before Hanumanji comes into Ramayana, there is a divine presence, a divine lady who's introduced, and her name is Shabariji. We tend to say Shabari, but it would be wrong. She is Shabariji in the sense that she is most revered, should be most revered. And this illiterate, tribal woman, when she meets Bhagavan Rama, and she's been waiting for him, her whole life she's been waiting for him. And she asks him, how can I be closer to you? She's already the closest to Bhagavan Rama. She's having darshan of him, and she's asking, how can I be closer? And at that time, Bhagavan Rama, out of compassion, shares with her 9 ways to be closer. This is called the Navada Bhagati. There's Navada Bhakti, which comes from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Ramayana, this is called Navada Bhagati. They're different. And here is what the 9 ways to be closer to Bhagavan is, shared by Bhagavan Rama to someone who's already so close, which really shows that she was asking that question not for herself, but for us. The first is satsanga, association with those who are noble. And I'm going like this as if I'm inferring that we are noble. Satsang. Then katha. We should listen to more and more of the narrations and glories of the divine. Number 3 is seva. It's not enough to listen, but then you have to work for the divine. I'd mentioned that about Vibhishana. He remembered Bhagavan a lot, but he wasn't helping. He wasn't engaged in karma. So you see here, seva. Number 4 is kirtana. A lot of people have this name, kirtana. But are they engaged in kirtana? Kirtana is to glorify the glories of Bhagavan. Like a child who is most disciplined brings glory to his parents, to her parents. Kirtana. Number 5 is japa, which we've already studied. That is to perpetually remember. Keep in your mouth, keep in your mind that you are a servant. You are someone who serves the divine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is dhamma. Dhamma is to have collected senses. At a physical level, collected senses. When do we overeat? Always, but specifically, when do we overeat? When there's a sense of unhappiness, we overeat, correct? You go to any university during exam period. That's the time for maximum sales at restaurants and vending machines and so on. Because people are unhappy, they have to study. What did you think happened in university and studying? So we eat. But someone who is happy, their senses are collected. Dhamma. Then darshana. Darshana means you don't just visualize the divine, but you actually begin to see the divine. There's a famous dialogue where Narendranath Datta, who became Pujya Swami Vivekananda, goes to Sri Ramakrishna and says, have you seen God? And Sri Ramakrishna looks to this young atheist and says, I see God more clearly than I see you. Darshana. Even more deeply is prasada. Prasada is dessert. Prasada is apples. Prasada is that which delights. And where does one receive the true prasad? From within oneself. One becomes more cheerful. And even deeper than cheer, the last is sama. Sama is to be balanced, to be even, to be equal. So Bhagavan Rama tells Shabariji that these are the 9 ways to be closer to me. And if you go through all of these, Hanumanji is the embodiment of every one of these. From satsanga to sama, and I'm just going to play on the sama part. Do you remember the first chaupai of Hanuman Chalisa? Hanumanji is known as Kapisha. Kapisha, I'm not talking, I think in Italian, Kapish means understood. Kapisha means the Isha, the lord of kapis, of monkeys. But Hanumanji was never the king. So Vali was the king of the monkeys, Sugriva was the king of the monkeys, Ravana was the king, and Vibhishana becomes the king. Why Hanumanji is known as the king of the monkeys? Because he's the king maker. He made Vibhishana the king. He made Sugriva the king, correct? But he never needed to be known. At no point is Hanumanji working for pay or praise. Yet he's the most known, isn't it? We're not doing workshops on Vibhishana. We have. But you get my point. Hanumanji is more known despite not wanting to be known. So let's bring this to ourselves more closely. Someone who is service-oriented, a dasa, someone who is surrendered to the divine, they do not live a life focused on rights. They live a life focused on responsibilities. You see the confusion in politics. What are my rights? Fight for my rights. I feel that if everyone lived by their responsibilities, everyone's rights would naturally be felt, would be addressed. So for all of us, a right is what I get, a responsibility is what I give. If I'm service-oriented, then my focus is on what I can give. And to ensure that we're not shaken from this, to be sama, work for someone. I had a discussion recently. Someone who is relatively newer to Chinmay Mission and in his studies of Hanuman Chalisa and Advaita Vedanta was really feeling his ego. That ego was there, but now through introspection, you come to feel and get burned by that ego more. He asked me, what am I supposed to do? And I told him simply, work for someone. I work for someone. And don't think of this as a profession or a boss. I work for Swami Tejomayananda. He works for Swami Chinmayananda. He works for Swami Tapovanam. He works for Acharya Shankara. He works for Vedavyasa. He works for Bhagavan Shiva and Bhagavan Vishnu. So by association, who do I work for? At least I tell myself that I work for God. And is there any Vivek if someone is working for God? No, who am I in front of God? When you work for someone, you're most responsible. There's no propensity for pay or praise. Yet like Hanumanji, we become remembered the most. Our sadhana for 32 is listen. Listen. If you have someone above you, that means you have to speak less and listen more. Chaupai 33. Tumare bhajan rama ko pave, janama janama ke dukha bisarave. Tumare bhajana, praises of you, songs of you, Rama ko pave. When others sing your glories, that makes Bhagavan Rama happy. Janama janama ke dukkha bisarave, and lifetimes of dukkha, bad space, negative thinking, sorrow, we are released from that. This is the literal meaning. We go to the Puranic narration that brings this chaupai, this verse, to life. I apologize for my poor health right now. I have this seasonal allergy that causes my throat to be extremely irritated, where I can't chant, and even as I'm speaking, I'm super conscious of, imagine you're about to cough. You've all felt that before. And how you're just waiting for that cough to come, but it's disturbing. I'm perpetually like that right now. So I apologize for these breaks. But maybe this is supposed to happen so that we can process more. We all have PhDs in justification, right? When Hanumanji returned from seeing Mother Sita, and he went straight to Bhagwan Rama and said, Drishtva Sita, seen Mother Sita. That was his responsibility, to see Mother Sita. And Bhagwan Rama was so happy. He took Hanumanji and put his head on his own neck. We've often seen an icon of that. But there's more to that scene. He couldn't just stay there forever. They had work to do. They had to go find Mother Sita. So then when Hanumanji turned around, all of the monkeys and beings were all cheering for him. They were kissing his tail. They were putting him in the air, even though he is the son of the wind god. They were putting him on his shoulders and walking around and so on. They were all delighting in Hanumanji. And that made Bhagwan Rama smile more. To see these group of animals find so much joy in their responsibilities and the opportunity Bhagwan Rama gave them. And I'd studied one commentary that said, the way that Bhagwan Krishna, when he would dance with the gopis and gopas, each one felt that Bhagwan Krishna was dancing with them. When Hanumanji turned to all of those animals, each one felt like Hanumanji was just with them. And I'm sharing here is that this made Bhagwan Rama happier. Like a proud parent, no? A jealous parent is the worst. A proud parent is the best. Bhagwan Rama is like a proud parent. Now we'll bring this to a adhyatmic sense to us. When a bhakta meets a bhakta, when a devotee meets a devotee, what do they talk about? Bhagwan. Correct? When two seekers meet each other, they talk about what they're seeking. When bhaktas meet Bhagwan, when a devotee meets God, what do they talk about? Other bhaktas, other devotees. Awesome. They either talk about God or they talk about God's devotees. And that's what's shown in this verse, that when devotees meet devotees, they make God happier. So for us to think about, what did you talk about today? Now you're all thinking, I may be a bhakta, but where are the bhaktas around me? You have your own mind, no? Goswamiji wrote Ramayana for himself to his own mind. Bringing more specificity to this. The word bhajana is used here. Tell me, when I say bhajan, what do you think of? You think about people tuning their instruments, right? A lot of lights, those flashing lights decorated around an altar. Can't wait to eat prasad afterwards. Bhaja, at an introductory level, means to sing. The evolution of singing is to seek. The evolution of seeking is to serve. These are the first three S's. Sing, seek, serve. The evolution of serving is worshiping. The evolution of worshiping is loving. And the evolution of love is being. So when we talk about bhajan here, that we should sing Hanumanji's bhajans, we've been doing that our whole lives, no? How many times have you chanted Hanuman Chalisa? Thousands of times. But are you being Hanumanji? That's why we have this workshop, to evolve from singing to seeking to serving to worshiping to loving to being. More and more of ourselves is given to this ideal that is Hanumanji, this divinity. And if you immerse yourself fully, what do you find? Rama. Being is our nature. In the language of Bhagavad Gita, bhaja, from singing to loving, is creating the Atma Vasana. Right now I have the Anatma Vasana. I keep thinking I'm the body only, but through bhaja, I start to create the Atma Vasana, that I'm not the body, I am Brahman. I am divine. The sadhana for Chaupai 33 is immerse. Immerse. Immerse yourself in bhajana. 34. Antakala raghuvara pura jai jahan janma hari bhakta kahai. Antakala, at the time of death. And this is another milestone in Hanuman Chalisa, because as we approach the end, many times people sing Hanuman Chalisa to die gracefully. So this is a reminder. We're reaching the end of Hanuman Chalisa. Every moment could be the end of our journey also. And if you're in this workshop, if you have Hanuman Chalisa in your hands or your head or your heart, surely Raghuvara Pura Jai, that you will go to where Bhagwan Rama is living, to Ayodhya, to Saket. Jaha Janma Hari Bhakta Kahai, and there you will be known as one who loves Bhagwan Rama, one who is a devotee of God. This is the literal meaning. We go to the Pauranic meaning. When Bhagwan Rama had defeated Ravana and all of the demons, there was millions of casualties of all of the demons, as well as the monkeys, the beings. Bhagwan Rama ordered Indra, he's the chief of the demigods, of the devatas, to bring the Amrita, that is the nectar of immortality, and to do a varsha of this, to rain down this nectar on all. And so he did. He was walking around the battlefield sprinkling this on all. And the monkeys and beings came back to life, but not the demons, not the asuras and rakshasas. And as some people are saying this, they're looking to Bhagwan Rama. I think Indra diluted the Amrita. He kept the real stuff in heaven and brought the fake stuff to earth. And Bhagwan Rama said no. The last thought that the monkeys and beings had, they were looking at the demons, correct? And so Bhagwan brought them back to life because there was still more for them to evolve. The last sight and thought that the Rakshasas, the Asuras, the demons had was Bhagwan Rama. As you see, so you think. In the same way as you think, so you see. And so all of them were transformed to live where Bhagwan Rama is. And there they're known as those who love Bhagwan Rama. Now you think, this is for people who were trying to kill Bhagwan Rama. Now here's Hanumanji trying to protect Bhagwan Rama. Surely Hanumanji is known to be a bhakta of Hanuman, and he's one who's bringing other bhaktas of Bhagwan Rama with him too. The last portion of Hanuman Chalisa, it's almost like the focus on Hanumanji is completed, I feel, almost with this chopai. And now it's being brought to Goswamiji, away from the Puranic meaning so much to more of the Adhyatmic meaning. So it's difficult for me to share more with you about the Puranic sense, but there's lots in the subjective sense for 34. The word punya means merit. And punya takes you to swarga, that is heaven. And the opposite is papa, which is demerit, and that takes you to naraka, which is hell. Now tell me, where is heaven and hell? Heaven and hell is subjective. For some of you right now, this is heaven. This is an opportunity for one to really know Hanuman Chalisa, and naturally for some of you, this is hell. That now that I can see you and I can track who's attending, now I can't sign off. What do I do? Same physical experience, but how you're feeling this subjectively. But opening this up some more. Punya means punati. That which purifies ignorance is a merit. And papa is pati. That which protects ignorance is a demerit. So what is this place that is known as Lord Rama's abode, his Pura? When we think in a way that makes us feel our nature, that is where Bhagavan Rama lives. And every time we think and speak and act in a way that makes us less aware, that is us moving away from Bhagavan Rama, where he lives. And so who really hurts oneself the most? We do. And who helps oneself the most? That is also us. I'll share one more thought about this chopai. How many purusharthas are there? How many purposes in life are there? I'm seeing a lot of fingers. People are just going like this. Technically, there are 4. In most places you will study there's 4, but there's actually 5. The first purushartha, the artha for purusha, for people, is dharma, that is position. Number 2 is artha, or possession. Number 3 is kama, or pleasure. Number 4 is moksha, or peace. And number 5 is bhakti. In Ramayana and Srimad Bhagavatam, deeper than peace is love. Love for oneself, love for all. And this is compared as that moksha, or peace, is like the fruit. Now, if I give you an awesome pomegranate, so richly red, bursting, but you can't eat it, then it's quite frustrating, right? You just keep it with yourself. The evolution of that beautiful pomegranate is eating the pomegranate. The rasa, the nectar, the fleshy part of that fruit. That's what bhakti is. Where you get to live that peace. And so here we're discussing, as I think today, tomorrow will be. And if I think about the divine always, tomorrow I will be loving the divine. The sadhana for 34 is prepare. Prepare. We don't know if we're going to have our workshop tomorrow. Fundamentally, functionally we will. But fundamentally, we don't definitively know that. So prepare. Keep on thinking about the divine. 35. Ora devata chittana darai hanumata se sarva sukha karai. Ora devata and other gods, chittana darai. There's no need to think about other gods, to worship other gods. Hanumanji seems really narcissistic, no? Hanumata say sarva sukha karai, that all joys can be found through Hanumanji. You know, with narcissism, one is only narcissistic if it's untrue. But if it's true, it's not narcissism, correct? And I'm not talking about a human being. I'm talking about God here. God is not narcissistic because this is the truth. You can find all joy in God. So some of the Puranic meaning to this. When the people of the world, along with Lord Brahma, that's the creator, had gone to Bhagavan Vishnu saying, Ravana, the one who makes all roar, he's making everyone cry. And the earth is being terrorized by him. We cannot help ourselves. We need your help. And Bhagavan Vishnu smiles. Tatastu, I will come to your aid. I will come as the son of Raja Dasharatha and Mother Kaushalya. I will be known as Rama. And when Bhagavan Vishnu made this decision to go on vacation, then all of the other people who live around him, they said, that's not fair that only you can go on vacation. We're going to be coming too. We'll hide ourselves in your baggage. So, Surya came as Jambavan. Sorry, as Sugriva. Brahma came as Jambavan. Indra came as Vali. And they all came. And watching from afar was Bhagavan Shiva. He thought his best friend, Bhagavan Vishnu, is going to manifest as a Nara, as a human. So I'm going to go too. But I want to help my best friend. And if I go as a human also, he's not going to let me. So instead of going as a Nara, I'm going to go as a Vanara. I'm going to go as a monkey. And Bhagavan Shiva became Hanumanji. And this shows, when people say BFF, best friends forever, these two are factually best friends forever. Like they are eternal. So that BFF started with Bhagavan Vishnu and Bhagavan Shiva. And making this more subjective. Some people, when you see them, they wear huge vibhuti marks like this. And then other people wear huge tilak starting from the tip of their nose to the top of their head. And if they're bald, it goes back more. And it's like that's their warrior symbol and they keep fighting with each other. Straight line, 3 lines. I'm a Shaivite. I'm a Vaishnavite. It shows that neither of them know Bhagavan Vishnu nor Bhagavan Shiva. Because what we study in this chopai, in Sanatana Dharma, we have 330 million different manifestations of oneness. 330 million different forms and names for the infinite. In a very academic sense, this is called monotheistic polytheism. Monotheistic polytheism. The one manifests as many. And what we need to know from this chopai is that includes us. All of the different names like Indra, Vayu, Devi, Surya, and all of the names around you, including you, you're also part of that infinity. And when you are tuned into yourself, that is joy. Why are you looking around elsewhere? Making this more practical. You know what people love to do? They love to go God shopping or Guru shopping, isn't it? Sometimes I like Hanumanji, sometimes I like Ganeshji, sometimes I like Devi. Which Devi? Sometimes Lakshmiji during Deepavali, sometimes Mother Saraswati when I have an exam coming up. And we shop around. No Ishta Devata, no actual love for God. And the same goes with gurus. YouTube is my guru. Facebook Live is my guru. What we're taught here is don't go God and guru shopping. You should connect with a God, a guru, and through them see all gods, all gurus. One Sadguru, someone you have a relationship with, someone who brings all that we're learning to life. Through that Sadguru, he or she will teach you that all are your gurus. Did you catch that from that chopai? Yes, you're all just nodding, but you've been nodding for the last hour. The sadhana for Chaupai 35 is deepen. Deepen. Go deeper. Swami Chinmayananda would say, if you want water, you can't dig 10 holes 4 feet deep. You have to dig one hole 40 feet deep. Deeper. And the last Chaupai we will study this evening, Sangata kate mete sabapira, jo sumire Hanumata balavira. And this is quite similar to Chaupai's 25 and 26. It's almost like a summary because the pace of Hanuman Chalisa shifts after this. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosal. Sangata kate. When I'm stuck, Sangata kate. The one who can cut that. Mete, the one who erases. Sabapira, all pains. 4. Jo sumire, for the one who remembers. Sumira is like the word Simran. Simran's like, comes from the base Smarana, to remember. Hanumata Balavira, the Hanumanji who is Bala, physically strong. Vira, the one who is courageous. We will go into this from a Puranic sense. Mother Sita, I had described earlier, she's emaciated. Her hair is all disheveled, like mine. And when Hanumanji sees her, he is in disbelief that this is the Mother Sita that is my mother. What's amazing is that Hanumanji is seen as father but not his mother. Yes? Vibhishana is seen as mother but not his father. And when they talk to each other, they call each other brothers. That they haven't seen a particular parent. And Hanumanji has traveled from Rameshwaram to Lanka to give Mother Sita hope. In English, the word Hanuman would mean hope. And if you take this in a symbolic level, still at a Puranic sense, Mother Sita is a shishya, a disciple. For a moment, she got distracted by this golden deer. A deer in Sanskrit is mriga, which also means mind. And gold you can take as pleasure, possession, position. The mind is distracted by pleasure, possession, position. And now she's feeling remorseful because of it. That's why she's remembering Ram, Ram, Ram. And it is she who is actually calling Hanumanji, who is the Guru. Many times you see Hanumanji older, with grey fur. He's holding the Veda or Ram in his hand. Mother Sita is the Shishya who's calling the Guru. We often interpret that Bhagavan Rama sent Hanumanji, but in this Chaupai, we can think of it as it is Mother Sita who's calling Hanumanji, and he comes, and brings that hope. She carries on because of him. Subjectively, a shishya, a disciple, is one who is sensitive to sorrow. Sensitive to sorrow. And I'd read one commentary that said, we should be as sensitive to sorrow as an eyeball is to anything. Even if you bring your own finger close to the eye, it sort of flinches. Leave alone dust or a ball. The eye is so sensitive, we should be like that towards sorrow. If there's any anger, any impatience in our life, how do I get rid of this? And the more sensitivity there is to sorrow, the more fuel there is for joy. That how do I grow out of this? I need to be better than this. But if someone is insensitive to sorrow, chalta hai. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gam. It's a sad way to live, to be insensitive to sorrow. I had read a quote that said, a happy slave is the worst enemy to freedom. They're enjoying that slavery. And though they're not, they just don't know. to be sensitive to sorrow, to have fuel for joy, requires one to be Vira. The word Vira is used here. So I'll give you a framework to think about. One who is tamasic, lazy, their relationship with Vira is they are fearful. They're filled with fear in every circumstance. One who is rajasic, aggressive, their relationship with Vira is they're daring. They're the people who are into extreme sports and heliskiing and skydiving. They think that's Vira, but anyone can be pushed out of a plane. Anyone can ski on a mountain. I can ski on a mountain, which means anyone can ski on a mountain. Someone who is sattvic, someone who's calm. Their relationship with Vira is they're courageous. They know that there are challenges, and still they try. That's courage. And someone who's deeper or has transcended even calmness, someone who is silent, their relationship with Vira, they're fearless. There's not even a challenge. There is only oneness, there's only being. Here is your last sadhana for this evening's workshop. Identify. Identify with the sorrow, you will grow out of it. Identify with the joy, you will grow towards it. Whatever we identify with becomes our destiny. Pay attention. Slowly, steadily, sincerely, we will complete Hanuman Chalisa. Tomorrow is like a valedictory address in Hanuman Chalisa. These are the last messages. This is the Palashruti. There's so many chopas we've studied. Okay, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? What do we have to do? Now we want to know, what do we get? What do we get? What do we get? That's where we will continue. Oh.